Good morning, students. Today we will study about the hypothesis that has been given by various scientists during the process of succession. The monoclimax hypothesis of Clements 1916. The climax formation is mainly controlled by the climatic factor. Such a climax is therefore a climatic climax. It is not affected by soil or topography. According to the followers of monoclimax hypothesis, edifically controlled stable community are the exceptions and are not true climax. They are called by the terms like subclimax and postclimax. Over a long period of time, these are believed to undergo modification by the action of climate into true climax vegetation. The monoclimax hypothesis has been severely criticized by several ecologists. The use of large number of terms by this concept has been found to be confusing. According to polyclimax theory, however, a climax reflects not only the climatic factor but also other factor of environmental complex which edaphic, biotic, etc. The climax can be of the several kinds which are different from the climatic climax of the area. They can be the edaphic climax where soil factor are dominant. Topographic climax where local topography usually operate through the microclimate or sometimes through edaphic factor. Fire climax, fire tolerant species only, and the zootic climax where retrogressive succession caused by the grazing of the herbivorous animal lead to community in equilibrium with the herbivore pressure. The most important aspect about the plant succession and the climax state have been summarized by Curcio as succession is defined as an directional vegetational change induced by an environmental changes or by instinct properties of the plant. The initial rate of vegetational change is high and subsequently fall to a low level, after which further development is governed by a very slow change of climate or physiography. This relatively stable state is termed as a climax. The original climatic climax is an abstract concept since climate is not a stable and furthermore other environmental factors influence the final vegetation of an area in addition to climate. Thus, the polyclimax theory is a more realistic complex concept. Climax vegetation is defined approximately as a self-perpetuating association of plants having a maximum of stability. Any change occurring is a very low, slow and only appreciable over an extensive time scale relative to the time scale of the establish of the climax through succession. Evidence shows stable vegetation to have a minimum of association between the species and the individual. Thus, Glacian individualistic concept of the climax is a more satisfactory hypothesis than the complex organism as given by Clements. Significance of ecological succession. Another important feature of plant succession is that even in a stable climax vegetation, different successional stages can also be found developing. A climax, therefore, may comprises orderly sequence of dynamically related patches called this cirgules or microserial. These microserial phenomena is the remarkable capacity of an ecosystem to repair the damage occurring due to natural cause or due to destruction by man. As a matter of fact, from the viewpoint of human population, there should be a good mixture of early and mature successional stages for a productive and stable vegetation. Early or young community crop plant are essential for a large net primary production, whereas a mature community with its greatest diversity and large organic structure is essential to buffer the complex. physical environment such as water, temperature, and soil condition. Excess food produced in early succession communities help feed older stage because production in the later is mostly consumed in respiration. The older stage in return supply regenerated nutrient and help buffer the extremes of weather. Changes during succession. During succession, the community structure, energy flow, and the nutrient cycle changes. The diversity of the species increases and are well organized in a mature community. In a young community, the rate of production exceeds the rate of community respiration and net production is high. The product is either stored within the ecosystem or is carried out of the ecosystem. Gradually, the rate of respiration increases in the successional stage. Ultimately, a balance occurs between the energy fixed and the energy used, and the amount of biomass ceases to increase. Young community and the environment exchange nutrient very rapidly. The mineral cycle are very open type. The plant cannot hold the nutrient for a long. As a succession period, the exchange of nutrient between the community and the environment becomes lower as the capacity of the community to entrap and hold the nutrient increases. The mineral cycle are of a closed type. The nutrient located in the standing crop and the soil are recycled within the community. The changes occur during the succession can be summarized as generally succession is from xeric toward the mesic or from the hydrine toward the mesic. Life form change from those such as lichen and submerged plant with a minimum or aggregate requirement to form within an increasingly high balance need. The annuals are succeeded by perennial herbaceous plant, grasses and weed, and the later by dominant shrubs and trees. The pioneer appear first as an scattered individual. They permit the entry of the other woody species which ultimately become the dominant plant. Phylogenetically, low plants are succeeded by a more evolved plant. Species with similar and broad ecological amplitude are replaced by group having narrower and complementary requirement. Increasing regularity of floristic composition and structure among the stand